had I not been paying attention, I would have walked past and I would have missed that beautiful part of the day. And that's what I say to people. Like, whether you're running, whether you're walking, just lift your head up and just look at stuff, because that changed. Like, just seeing that changed my entire day, changed my entire trip.
I was in Italy a couple weeks ago, and my buddy and I are walking in Como, and we
Hmm.
were going to church in the
Hmm.
morning on a Sunday. We don't
Hmm.
speak Italian, but we were going to go to a Sunday mass,
Hmm.
um, and uh, and we're walking through the town, and we're stopping like every 5 seconds. Oh my God! Look at this plant!
Hmm.
Look at this! Look at this church! Look at this view! And I looked at my buddy who's been my best friend since high school, 13 years old, and I said, "Isn't it funny how you can go through the same path every day?" And we're walking past lots of people, and
Hmm.
they're looking down. They don't see the tree, they don't see the beauty that's next to us. They don't stop and look. How many times could someone from Italy come to our place,
Hmm.
walk around and see things we miss every single day?
Hmm.
And it was a simple mile walk to church,
Hmm.
but in that mile it was so powerful to just recognize the things that we miss every day
Hmm.
and remind ourselves that there's beauty in the walk, in the
Yep.
run, in
Yep.
whatever it is, and sometimes you just have to change your environment to see it.
Hmm. And I talk about that in regards to running a lot, because I noticed that if I go for a run or if I go for a walk, in comparison to if I go for a bike ride or if I go for a drive, my head is up, I'm looking forward, and I notice far more things. And what I notice about these things is they change wherever you go, but they have a similar impact on you. I guess the difference is what you then do with that feeling. Now, running has taken me all over the world, and I've like traveled to places that there is no way in the world that I would have traveled to if I wasn't running. Like, I was sat down in a Thai restaurant, which is right by our track, and I was with two friends. One guy from Hong Kong that I'd met through running, another guy from Amsterdam who I had met through running. And he just said, real easy breezy, he was like, next week I'm doing Hood to Coast in Taiwan. Like, you lot should come. Not next week, in a couple of weeks. You lot should come. And me and my friend Edson, we sort of put our forks down, and he was like, what are the dates? And it's just being open to stuff like that. So anyway, fast forward a couple of weeks, couple of months, and we're all in Taiwan, and we're doing this race from one end of Taiwan to another end, and that's all I keep doing. Like, I just keep popping my head up. I'm like, oh my, look at that! That is a Godzilla made out of spray cans. Everyone's just walking past this. Is it because they see it every day? I'm just going to stand and I'm going to look at this because this is amazing. How can someone make a Godzilla out of spray cans? Like, I then walked down the street a little bit further, and because of how tentatively I was looking, and I'll send you the photo. I've still got it. I just saw this. I think it was a centipede or some kind of silkworm, like just hanging from another one of the Godzillas. And had I not been paying attention, I would have walked past and I would have missed that beautiful part of the day. And that's what I say to people. Like, whether you're running, whether you're walking, just lift your head up and just look at stuff, because that changed. Like, just seeing that changed my entire day, changed my entire trip. And what you find on runs and walks is you end up going down these little alleys or these little nooks or these little roads, and you find stuff, and that stuff inspires you. Like, I remember I say to people, one day just turn left instead of right and see what happens. And I turned left instead of right, and it inspired like a whole series of races for me, because I was like, ah, this road would be perfect for like a drag race for people. Like, it's set up perfectly. There's no traffic. There's some slight undulations. There's a great point for cheering. There are trees on the side. So if when we take pictures, and that's just from literally turning left. And that's what I say to people: turn left instead of right, and open your eyes.
What it brings us back full circle to is your question that you ask somebody every time they are challenged with whether or not they can run on a soccer field or anywhere else. You ask them, have you ever thought about slowing down?
Hmm.
And what we're doing, that's how you bring it full circle in a
Yep.
conversation, folks. If you've ever, if most of us rush through life and we
Hmm.
see nothing, especially in our everyday,
Hmm.
we see nothing. And or we see only what we want to see, and it's
Hmm.
very small tidbits. But I was thinking, I was like, you know what, Corey's next book needs to be Slow Down and Run. That's good. That's good.
I
I
mean, it
mean,
is. It
it's
is. I
good
like that.
because you could talk, because the things that are interesting in life happen when we slow down and we open
Hmm.
ourselves up to a new conversation with a friend. And
Hmm.
nowadays, with our phones and everything, I talk about the habit of daily impact all the time. And
Hmm.
for me, it's an act of kindness that builds on itself. And
Hmm.
so if I hold the door for somebody, or I smile at someone, or I compliment the teenage girl at the counter at the grocery store, or the lady that's I opened the door for the other day. I helped some. I was at the airport, and this lady had so many bags, and her daughter had a baby, and they were there. The other daughter was in a Jeep, and they're blocking traffic. And I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna put my stuff down. Let me go help these ladies put
Hmm.
the suitcases in." Small little things
Hmm.
that help someone in a moment are daily acts of kindness. It's a habit of daily impact, but
Hmm.
it builds on it. And in a world where we're so fast and so focused at looking down,
Hmm.
we're not focused on seeing what's in front of us, and
Hmm.
slowing down allows us to do it.
Yep.
And that's what I love about that, and your openness to say yes. I mean,
Yeah.
being in Taiwan in a couple weeks is kind of cool. Like,
That was, see, it sounds weird, but I'm always like, it was, I'm very, very privileged now to be in a position to be able to do things like that. And I'm always aware of when I have conversations like this, I'm really blasé about, yeah, 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 like just in a few weeks we were in Taiwan, or yeah, 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 just in a few weeks we were in Shanghai. And people think that that stuff came overnight. Like I just sort of swiped my card and was like, "Oh, we're off." There was way more, way more going on than that. But in the beginning, it started off with a much smaller yes, and that smaller yes was to simply leave one part of London to go and explore another part of London. But those opportunities just kept coming, and that's how I got into photography. That's how I got into writing. That's how I got into podcasting. Like all of these things, like literally happened by accident because I was like, yeah, why not? But what happens is because you then put yourself in positions where you're willing to say yes, more people then come to you because like, oh, you're the guy that says yes, or something that I always get, which you're the guy that's always smiling. Like no one ever says, ah, you're that guy who did this, and this. It's like you're the happy guy. You're the guy that smiles, or you're the friend of this person, or this person told me about you, or that person introduced me. And that's what I find about the world that we live in nowadays. Because you are just completely open, because you are just nice, and you're being nice not because you want something in return, but because it's the right human thing to do, people are far more willing to sort of come to you with a problem or with a task or with an opportunity because they know that you're going to enhance whatever it is that you're involved in, and enhancing it is just sprinkling more of you on it. And that's what I say to a lot of people. It's like sometimes people just want a little bit of you, or sometimes people just want a little bit of the energy that you bring, and it doesn't matter what that thing is that you're doing. Like people will follow you because of your good heart and your good energy. Could be a book, it could be a podcast, like you could become a chef, like you could open a restaurant. People are coming to see you, and it just so happens that you're serving food.
If you like clips like this, I have a similar clip here. And if you want to watch the full video, click here.